one, fire.
Good evening and welcome to the Anime Analyst-US. I am Thomas Fry, your host.
And I am your co-host, Hasnan Zaidi.
And he is a little bit under the weather tonight, so please be chill with him. His voice might be a little low as we go. I'll keep reminding him, but hey, we all get the flu and we all have to go through it. So cheer him on, say a prayer, make him feel better. We'd appreciate it here at Anime Analyst. We're all rooting for him to get better. All right, tonight it is Wednesday, 30-minute show, and we've got a special one coming to you. It is called Arifureta, From Commonplace to World's Strongest. And everybody who's anybody knows anything about this anime because the fan club is set over 700,000 people in the fan club. 500,000 people voted for this. They went out of their way when the 13th episode was done, and they went on Mal and they voted. Now, I don't know exactly when they did it, but I'm giving everybody credit that they, because you do have to go out of your way to do it. It's not like you can do it right where you're watching the show. And so let's get through the stuff. All right, it originally finished airing in, it was the summer of 2019. It was licensed by Funimation. That was before Crunchyroll bought Funimation, and then Sony bought Crunchyroll. So all these businesses being passed around, all I know is I went from paying 2 bills every month to only having to pay 1. And Funimation is finally gone, but anybody who watched Funimation, we all loved it. They, at least if you're in America, because they concentrated on the dubs. They really pushed getting the dubs done on each anime, and I liked their format of how their website worked. It made it really easy to watch stuff. Anyway, this Arifureta From Commonplace to World's Strongest was sourced from a light novel. We're up to, I believe, chapter 9 out of 15. And the genres in action, adventure, fantasy, and the themes are, it's a harem, sorta, and an isekai. Let me explain what I said. When I said harem, sorta, man, Hajime is a stand-up dude. He is sticking with the one that he claims to be his wife, namely Yue, and he will love the rest of his party. He will stand behind them, but this is not a harem. This is an honest-to-God, I'm going to stick with the woman I love, and that's it kind of anime. He don't even play or entertain any of that. So it's amazing to me. Now, also another thing that's amazing is this is PG-13. I'm seeing some rated R stuff flying through here. When you pick up a 308 Gatling 9-barrel 300 caliber weapon and unleash 10,000 bullets into guards standing there holding swords, that's kind of rated R because they didn't attack him first. So depending on how you look at it, he was in the right in doing that, but some people could argue and say, well, hey, that's murder, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, because he kind of shot non-combatants, but when you seen him picking up that Gatling gun, your dumbass should have been on the ground. Because all his classmates didn't go, hey, don't shoot that. They all hit the ground. They knew he was going to pull that trigger. There was no doubt in your mind whatsoever. This thing, Season 1 had a score of 6.72. Scored by over 400,000 people. It was ranked 5,647, which is like disastrously high, but I really I don't know what to say about that because the popularity was 287, and every friend that I had that watches anime loved this. I didn't meet anybody who said, well, I didn't like it. I mean, there's nothing not to like about this one. There's 750,000 members in the fan club. And in season 2, it scored a 7.16, popularity of 3,500. So the ranking went up, but the popularity went down a little. It went down to 594, which, you know, like we have said many, many times, 500 is pretty much the benchmark. If it's 500 or greater, you can just about guarantee this is a high quality anime. Well, 594 is nothing to sneeze at, and we got season 3 coming out, so I am stoked. I can't wait to start watching season 3. All right, to give you a quick overflow, a kid named Hajime Nagamo got beamed to another world. Well, beaming may not be the word for it, sorry. He got transported to another world to become a hero with the rest of his class, teacher included. And his best friend and Corey, who loved him, you know, from when she was a kid, when she first started going to school with them, was there. And the other members of his party he met in the new world. But he was bummed because he got a I forget what do you remember what the name of his magic was? It was
Inferior transmutation.
okay. He could move ground and objects and like make a hole and you can climb in it, and then it would move it behind him and it would move actual material. And they were down. He didn't like it because he's like, I can't fight with this. He didn't, you know, until they hit floor 65, he didn't even really understand how he could use his magic to help anyone. And then they got transported from Jerkface trying to grab something which he shouldn't have touched, down to from floor 17 to 65, and they got, they were on a bridge. They got attacked by 50 skeleton warriors that were fully dressed in leather armor. And, that's the second highest skeleton warrior you can have. So they can fight and they can, for being skeletons, they got a lot of muscle. And then at the other side of the bridge was this freaking dinosaur with like these giant bull horns that was like super powerful. And he went up and saved his childhood friend by using his ability to make a wall to stop that creature from attacking. And when they were protecting him, one of his classmates who did not like him hit him with the spell and knocked him off the bridge. And that's how this whole thing got started. And I think part of the reason this thing was loved so well, and by the way, this is my personal #1 anime that I have ever seen. I love this anime. I think it should have been scored a lot higher because the director, the producers, the voice actors, they put so much into this. They took their time. They did it right. The story does not go too fast. They do not reveal the plot in episode 2. They got great character development. They even developed the characters of the non-combatants that aren't even on the list of people of, actors that are in there. I mean, I think this was amazing. What do you say?
I'd say like the ranking on my anime list did not justify what the anime really is. Like, they have a good story, the animation is good, and everything about it. They don't rush up anything. The anime is going into a really good pace. They introduce and tell the story of each character. You understand it, what's going on. So I think this is a good anime. Like from the first episode, like you were telling, when he fell down, and he at the last moment he lost his arm. Like my voice was low. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no, I was just, while you were talking, I not only was pointing at you, but I forgot to do the like, subscribe, share. So I was kind of pointing at that as I was listening to you. I didn't mean to interrupt you, and man, that caused a big old scene. I wasn't trying to do that. I just forgot to mention the like, subscribe, and share. So I was trying to squeeze that in real quietly, and it didn't work. So I won't do that again. All right, continue, please.
Yeah, so when he lost the arm, and then he go underground, and then he think like he's going to die, and from like he rise from the dead, and that's the real turning point. He get by eating the monsters, he started to get their ability, their magic, and that story started. I think so. Everything on this is good. I don't. I like the violence.
What
The
about
violence in
you?
this.
I especially liked how he came across Yue. That whole scenario.
Yeah, like when he see and he thought like she's being trapped for good reason, and he turned around that I'm not going to release her, and then she tell no, I was got betrayed. Then he remembers like he got betrayed, because like in this anime like the betrayal is going from the episode one till like there are too many guys and girls like who were betraying them. Like when they found out the guy someone is bringing 60,000 demons, and they realize this is the guy who gone missing from their class.
They
So
didn't even know he saves the town of and they don't even realize it till 4 or 5 episodes later that the king and the people in charge even found out that, because when she was, I don't know if you remember when the teacher I Aiko, when she was defending him at the church, saying and listed the things that he did good, and she was like, and he saved the town of everybody would have died. And she was fighting from him being called a heretic. Now, she did not know that most of the people in that meeting were already either dead or they were, what do you call that, compounded to speak a certain way. Like, they didn't kill the king, but he was either hypnotized or magically you do what you're told. And so they were going to name him a heretic no matter what he did. He had no choice because, well, it wasn't about him. They called him a heretic even though he was nothing of the sort. And that was offensive. But let me ask you this. All right. When you think of main MCs that are follow the right path, walk a narrow line, you think of guys like Walker, Texas Ranger. You think, there's a lot of Michael Knight. There's a lot of guys that walk the narrow path, but not one of them will pick up a Gatling gun and clean out a room right after he kills 750,000 demons with this thing. I mean, the guy's a genius at developing stuff that's needed. A lot of people, oh, well, that's part of the show. Well, of course it's part of the show. He can think of this stuff, and he brings a lot of stuff from his original world to this world. But
like the car he uses.
oh yeah, I mean, I personally I thought the bike was kind of typical anime when they just when they have a pen and they're open to draw whatever, and they draw this dumb space bike. That was the only thing out of all this anime I didn't like, because I thought that bike was the dumbest thing, and there is no way you're riding that bike on a dirt road. Anybody who has ever ridden a motorcycle, and I've had a lot of them. I've had Harleys, I've had crotch rockets, I've had, my favorite was a Yamaha Virago 750 I had back in high school. You're not riding a bike like that on a dirt road, and there are no roads in this. So most of the time you're running in grass. You're not keeping it's unrealistic. And everything about this anime was realistic. They kept everything except for that one thing. They kept everything along. Let me change what I said so our that was my power flickering. If we go black screen, we are right in the middle of a hurricane. It's not supposed to hit till later tonight, so we're trying to get the show in before the power goes out. So if for some reason we don't end the show properly or it stops before the time, we'll do the whole show again at a later date and time because I love this anime, and Hassan told me that he likes it too. So, you know, we'll do it a couple of times because there's going to be stuff I wanted to mention that I forgot about. But the vehicle thing, I didn't like the bike, and especially putting a sleeping bunny on the back with her on the front, and then riding it in the dirt with rocks on. You know, it just. But then they gave him not just any Hummer. They got the troop transport Hummer, the right one for carrying a lot of people and gear, and that's the one that they gave them. So I think they put a tremendous amount of thought into what's appropriate. The original writer, and I don't have her name handy, but I'm a fan of hers. I can get all these books I bought through Prime. I have them all. I have the spin-off series from them too. I recommend getting them. They are excellent reads, and they did a wonderful job bringing this story from those pages to the screen. They just did an awesome job with this one. It makes me, as a reviewer, it makes me happy to do these every once in a while. It's the only anime I gave a 10 masterpiece on the Mal voting thing. I have a rule of thumb: I'll never go over a 9. And there are two. Sorry, my finger's all messed up. That I did go over, and I voted for Freerun, and I voted for Arifureta. I just liked it this much. I mean, I've watched both seasons. I watched the first season probably 30, 40 times. And the second season, I've watched 20 times at least. I like it. It's a good story. And every time you read it and watch it, I mean, you pick up on more stuff. What do you think about the volcano? At the beginning of season 2.
Where they were having the issue with the overflow of the mana in the village.
Yes.
And where they had the fights with the dragon, right?
Yes.
Actually, that was a good, but there was one thing, I was thinking, they fight this guy 3 times, and every time he run away. They wipe out all his troops.
Oh, the demon? Oh my gosh, he's a real wuss. That he could, if he got her. But that's typical people that have power or that come into power and didn't earn it. You know, how's that saying go? Power that is earned will last a lot longer than power that was not earned. And there was a saying, and I'll remember what anime it is at a later show, but it made a lot of sense. If you earn your kingdom, you will be king for a long time. If your kingdom was given to you, like if you're a prince, you usually fuck it all up because they didn't earn it. With the exception of being Trump Jr., because the way Trump raised his butt is basically when he was 5, he gave him $1 million and said, go earn your own money. Trump was a tough dude, but I only said that I thought it would be funnier than that. But anyway, it's true. If you don't earn it, you're not going to be able to keep it. And that's pretty much true with anything that you do.
And that's the demon is the boyfriend of the girl they kill in the season first, right? And he's coming
One
to
of
get
his
the revenge.
lieutenants was his girlfriend. They were going to get married.
Yes.
When he
So he's
goes,
just
well,
coming
if she didn't want to die, he shouldn't have went to the battle. And that's true. If you don't want to die, keep your butt out of the battle, because that in itself will get you killed. When you go into battle, you have to go into battle. You don't need to be thinking about anything else, because your chances of survival are slim to none in the first place. There's bullets flying around.